chat all about my knitting, crafting, mostly knitting, but I do a little bit of crochet, stitching, other things. Sorry about the wobbling. The dog is running around. If you saw Frank on a previous video, this is him now. He is a giant 4-month-old puppy. He is going to get bigger, but he's definitely not the little pup that he once was. You may notice we are in a different place. This is my kitchen. Well, it's actually like the dining side of my kitchen. My garage room is a mess, but even if it wasn't a mess, again with the wobbling, I'm sorry. He is freaked out because he doesn't understand why I'm talking to nobody. Oh my gosh, Frank, will you settle down? Apologies. So even without the mess, the garage is just too exciting for Frank, and he gets a little bit sad if I leave him for too long, and I had already been out working today, so I don't want to leave him any longer. So yes, there is too many things for little dogs in the garage room. There's too many things everywhere for little dogs. Are you going to settle down with that now? Please. He's got his first ever treat that is for slightly older dogs, or for 4-month-plus dogs, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. Anyway, it's been a while, so dog distractions, sorry. If you haven't been here before, my name is Laura. I come from the most easterly town, or I'm not from here, but I live here in the most easterly town in England, and I live here with my husband, my 4-year-old daughter, my 1-year-old son, my 4-month-old puppy, and my very old cat. And this channel just came about because I didn't have anyone to talk to about my knitting, and I was driving my husband a little bit crazy talking about it. So I came to YouTube instead, and I'm so glad I did, because it's so much nicer coming to talk on YouTube. The lighting is awful. I haven't turned on the overhead light because it looks really funny, but now that it's getting slightly darker outside, yeah, the lighting is rubbish. So apologies for that. I haven't brought in my studio lighting that I have outside, only because it was another thing, and it is already 2:15 in the afternoon, and I have to go and get my little girl from school at 3 o'clock. Today is my one day of childcare for my son, and I'm cramming everything in. So yes, I am in a different place from normal, and you may notice that this is not an advert for Quick Step laminate flooring. Our living room carpet, since having a puppy, which was a very cheap carpet from about 5 years ago when we moved in here, is now disgusting. We've had a flood in there, we've now had a puppy in there, and he does that excitable thing and pees when he sees new people, and our carpet, we have cleaned it many times. It's now worn through in certain areas, so we have saved up, got some flooring. Well, actually no, my parents got this for our Christmas present, and we are going to pay a family member to come and fit it for us, because we are the most useless people in the world when it comes to stuff like that. So at the moment, it's in my kitchen. Yeah, I've tried to put my, one of my Stephen Wishels over it to try and make it better. It doesn't make it better. And I was sat there thinking, should I come and record a podcast that's totally unprofessional and very much like my old podcasts where I'm sat in my kitchen just having a chat, or should I hold off until I can get back in my room and sit in front of my yarn wall, etc, etc. And then I was like, no, I'm coming to chat. So here we go. First things first, where you can find me online, down below, I will put all the informations. Instagram is where I am most likely to interact. I like Instagram. And my website will be down there. My online shop, if you would like to support the podcast and buy from my shop, that is amazing. Thank you so much. If you don't need more yarn, but you'd like to support the podcast, I do have a Kofi account. Everything will be linked. Oh, coming to see me. If you would like to see me, I am not at any more yarn shows this year. I am at yarn shows next year, But this Sunday, which will be the 14th, I think, if you are local to Lowestoft, Gorleston area, Lowestoft, Suffolk, Norfolk border, that sort of area at all, in Carlton Colville there is a craft fair. I should have got the details up because that would make me clever, but I'm not that clever. It's at Uplands Community Centre, and I thought I would give it a go. It just looked like fun. Yeah, it's a Christmas craft fair. I'm just going to be going with all of my yarn. Everything that I have, I'm just going to bring it along. Yarn, hand balm, and see if I see anyone. It'll probably be a total flop because I don't think yarn stalls are like the typical stall that you would get at a craft fair, but I just thought, well, it was very cheap to join in and it's very local to me, and I thought it might just be a fun day. And yeah, so Sunday, the actual fair goes on Saturday and Sunday, but there are different vendors on both days. So if you're around the Lowestoft area or you want to come and see me, I will be there on the Sunday, and yeah, you will make me feel like I'm not totally alone. Sorry if you can hear Frank chomping away on his treat. He is a noisy eater. Anyway, into it, because I don't have any finished objects because I am a squirrel. Basically advents, getting advents out, my advents that I sold through my shop, my yarn advents, that just took forever and a day, and I just had a little bit of a mini meltdown over it. Next year I'm going to do things really differently, in terms of how early I get my advents out, and they're going to go out crazy early, I'll tell you that. I do still have one left in the shop if you fancy joining in. I think it's a DK advent, and it's 20 grams per day of advent. It is non-related to Christmas at all. I celebrate Christmas, but the very nerdy advent, which is what I've gone for, and all the colourways are dyed inspired by nerdy things that I nerd out about is what I wanted to say. None of that came out right. There's one left. It's a DK one. I've kept a DK one for myself. I think. I'm pretty sure that's the one I've kept for myself. So yeah, I have one left if anyone would like to join in. That just took forever. Advents took forever, and I kind of had a meltdown because at the start of September I lost one of my days a week of childcare. I had two, I now only have one. I will only have one for the foreseeable, and it kind of knocked me down. I now spend my weekend helping family members. I do some like cleaning and stuff for my grandparents, and I now do that on the weekend, which cuts into the time that I have at home with my husband and my kids, because my husband works full time, and yeah, just our only family time is really at the weekends. So things are a bit manic at the moment. Every 2 seconds is taken up, and I have had quite a lot of chunks of time where I felt ridiculously overwhelmed and like I can't cope. Truth is, I can cope, and when I evaluate the whole situation and calm down and try not to do all the things, it is okay, and I should not be beating myself up over it, but it does mean I haven't finished any projects. That feels like a really boring long way to get that out. Anyway, my first whip that I'm going to show you is one that I'm not doing these in order of when I cast them on. I've only brought a couple to show you. I have worked on more since the last time I recorded, but to be honest, they are in varying states all over the house in different project bags, and I have given up trying to find them. I'm going to try and get a picture online because I just realised that I have only got the chart with me, and I don't want to show you guys the chart because that would be really bad, because this is a paid for pattern. So I bought this pattern, and it is for Mittens, Colourwork Mittens. Laura, why were you not more organised? Oh my gosh, I love these mittens so much. I don't know if anyone has seen The Handmaid's Tale. Let me just, that's one. But I have. and I've read the book years ago. I have read it again since then, but it really stuck with me when I first read it. I absolutely loved it. And I saw these mittens online, and actually the person who has written this pattern, and let me tell you who that is, it's Knitting Lotta, published in Lotta Lundin Designs, and I've got to show you this. There is swears. Watch out, guys. There are swears in this pattern. I won't say them out loud, but I'm going to hold up to the screen now. The first one is these mittens. It says "Praised be," and obviously that's the uniform of the Handmaids. And then on the palms, it says "Don't let the grind you down," and it's all zigzaggy stripes. Diagonal stripes, and I love it. So yeah, scary. Some paper just fell off the bookshelf. The printer had paper sat on it. It's just fallen off. The dog is protecting me from it. So mine are very much at the beginning. There is a rude word on the back and just the word "praised" on the front, and I'm getting into the colour work to finish the neck, or finished the neck of the uniform, and then obviously there'll be the bonnet part up here. And I've put in my stitches for the thumb, and yeah, so they're not very far along. I don't know when I'll finish them. They were just a bit of fun. I love a bit of colour work. I love how, I don't think my colour work is that uneven, but there's definitely a lot of bumps where you can see where I'm catching the black yarn behind the red and carrying it along. But I don't think it's that uneven, but it will just completely even out when I give it a soak. And I love that magic. So yeah, it's all charts, and I have no idea what yarn this is. This is yarn that I caked over a year ago, I would say. This yarn was caked up. I literally have no idea who it was from. I went on a big cake winding party of all semi-solids and solids, because I was going to make all of these colour work projects. I'm so sorry about the dogs chewing, if you can hear that. But I was going to make all of these colour work projects and then never did it. So I had red and black already caked up to start this straight away. So I was really chuffed when I found that pattern. And yeah, there were so many colour work patterns by that designer, but that one, I couldn't not do it. I was like, I need to cast that on right now. And I did. Within half an hour, I had gone outside, found needles, found yarn, and cast it on. Oh, by the way, this is the Slip Stravaganza by Stephen West, and it was the MKAL from, was it last year? It was last year. I do the Stephen West MKAL every year. I've only done, this is only my 4th year though. I say I do it every year. I'm making it a tradition, but I have only been doing it for this is the 4th year. And I always cast on when everybody casts on, right at the start of the knit along. And then I finish sometime in the following March. And this year will be no exception. So this is my next whip. And it is living in this, the colour work mitts aren't living in a bag right now. They are just floating around the house. But this one is living in my hide and hammer bag, which I love. And this bag belonged to my lovely friend Jo, and she sold it to me, and I love it. If you are not wanting any spoilers about the Stephen West MKAL, honestly, I doubt any of you are trying to avoid it this far back. I am only at the start of Clue 2, and the knit along has now finished, so I feel like this is your fair warning to be aware that I am only at the end of Clue 2, beginning of Clue 2, but I'm going to show it to you now. Okay, so I cast on with everyone else, and then Advents. I was just sucked into the world of Advents, and I did not knit on anything. And it is on a much too small needle, so I can't spread it all out. But that's the first clue. The first clue was from the very start there down to here, and then the second clue. No, what am I on about? That was the first clue from the very start here down to these, which I think look a bit like onion rings. Someone else said they look like prawns. Depends on what colour they've been knitting. And obviously they don't look like prawns or onion rings in purple. And then I'm at the very start of Clue 2. And I just haven't been picking it up because I was working on Advents like crazy, and then Advent's finally finished and I felt like I deserved another new cast on. And the mittens. And then I got sucked into the world of mittens, and then I've been making some little crochet stars for something else, and yeah, it's just all been forgotten about. This went into a bag and got forgotten about. So this is the start of my Stephen West MKAL. I will pull it out throughout the next, I don't know how many months, probably, I don't know. I really should just stop and knit with it because it's in my yarn as well, so it's a good sample for me to have. Frank is now chewing on a bit of plastic. You've got your treat right there and you're chewing plastic. Right, thank you. So, yeah. This is my MKAL. And I'm knitting it in Elven, which is this dark green. And Prince of the Southern Isles, which is this grey, which is actually a bit of a bluey grey. And then Chocolate. And then I can't remember what this one is called. My brain is not working. What did we call this in the end? Oh, Dark Dreams. I do remember. Dark Dreams, which is the purple. And then last but definitely not least, I can't remember this one either. This one we called, oh, Tiana, which is this green. So, bibbidi, bobbidi, boop. This was a bad idea. There. So that is my 5 skein selection, 5 colours selection for the Stephen West MKAL. I really like them. I'm really chuffed. I know some people have gone with some speckles. I've seen a lot of people with lots brighter. I think this is actually going to be something that I will really wear. And I do wear pretty much all colours, but I think this one, because it's quite muted, I think I will put that with a lot of things. I really like it. Sounds like I'm tooting my own horn. But those are the only 2 whips I bought to show you, because I was going to show you one of the little crochet stars, because I'm knitting up some crochet stars at the moment. But the one really awful thing about this dog is that he likes to eat wool. And this was a crochet star and a teeny tiny little scrappy ball of wool. And now it is this. And I am just going to put that in the bin because it's covered in dog slobber. It smells horrible and it's a right mess. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. Dog that eats wool, I'm a little bit devastated. I'm not giving it back to him. I know it's ruined and I could let him play with it, but first of all, I don't want that coming out the other end. Second of all, I don't want him to think that it's okay to eat wool, eat yarn. I cannot have that be a thing. So yeah, I need to get crocheting another star to replace the one that he chewed up. Stash enhancement. I have not. I'm smooth. I have not had much yarn coming into this house. I have been very good and not buying lots of yarn because at the moment, if I'm honest, I'm not knitting it fast enough. I'm not knitting anything really. I'm not finishing projects. I've got loads of half knit projects. I'm not finishing them. I'm running out of needles. I've got another pair of needles coming today because I keep not finishing projects and just still casting on more. What is going on with me? I don't know. My brain is. Ugh. But yeah, so I haven't been buying yarn in terms of skeins of yarn. However, my advents have turned up. I bought advents earlier in the year. People have been amazing and supported my advent calendar, and that's been amazing. And I like to support other makers, and I love December because of advents. Advents get me, like, they build me up through December to have the best month. And they make me feel included in something whenever I feel a little bit like down or lonely in December, like, which happens quite a lot. I live with depression and anxiety, and they make me feel like I'm part of something It gives me something to open on Vlogmas, which I will always begin and usually drop out of halfway through while I've forgotten, but I will attempt it again this year. Yeah, they make me feel like I'm a part of something, and those little tiny balls of yarn, all those little skeins, I love them. I just want to collect them. I just want them all. So, and also a few dyers offered payment plans. I offered a payment plan as well for anyone who ordered. I put mine up, I think, in March, so it was really early in the year, but I offered people a chance to pay over 3 months. Frank. So Frank, don't walk back under it again. I'm so sorry. So yeah, people got the chance to pay over 3 months, which I did on Frank. I did on one of my. Will you stop? Which I did on one of mine. I think it was the Fibre Fox. My lovely friend Georgie. The advent calendar I bought from her. She offered a payment plan option, and I took that because I didn't have the money to buy it's all at one go. But because people release them throughout the year, I bought one in March, one in June, and this one was later, I think. And it just means that it's kind of like saving. You put that away, and then December comes around, you're like, oh my gosh, it's advent time, and you have all this amazing time. So this one in my hands is the 2021 Charity Collaboration Advent Calendar, which is organised by the lovely Giddy Yarns, the lovely Helen, and basically she reached out to 23 other dyers, and along with herself, we all dyed 1 day's worth of this advent calendar, and then when she sold the advents, she donated. She was able to raise £1,000, which was spread evenly across 3 charities, which was Shelter, Action for Children, and Re-Engage. And yeah, they're all inspired by, all the colourways are inspired by books and literature. So this turned up. So that's one of my advents. And the other 2 that I bought, one was a Lay Family Yarn advent, and the other was the Fibre Fox advent. So I have bought 3, which is the most I've ever bought. I think I've only been doing them a few years. I think I might have had 2 last year, because I think did I buy Kelly's? I bought Kelly's and Brambles and Me last year. Kelly's is becoming a bit of a tradition. I feel like I can't have Christmas without Kelly's advent calendar. Frank, he's literally coming right up to me here, just where you can't see him. Aren't you, mate? And wagging his tail and hitting the phone. I'm sorry. So, yeah, purchasing. Frank, come here. Purchases wise, but he doesn't want to sit with me, he just wants to stand in front of me and wag his tail to hit the camera. Purchases wise, I've just had advents turn up, but I haven't really bought anything new, I don't think. Can't remember if I have. There has been a bit of work being done on East Anglia Yarn Festival. If you don't know about that, you can go onto Instagram and follow the East Anglia Yarn Festival account. Our website will be going up pretty soon, and we have 61 amazing vendors to share with you, coming from all over the UK, coming from Ireland, coming from Scotland, coming from every part of England, and I'm really, really excited. I can't wait. And that's the last weekend in March next year, and yeah, I am very excited to bring something to Norwich that we will love. Hopefully everybody will love. But yeah, a lot of work behind the scenes work has been going on that, and I just feel like I have been burning the candle at both ends for quite a while, but things are starting to level out a little bit, which is nice. I think I've got through the bulk of a lot of work. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that you would need to know. Scrappy Club on my website has gone up for December, and it's themed around Call the Midwife. So that's up if you'd like to look. There's lots of yarn in my shop. The self-striping colourway for November and December has not yet launched and has not yet been revealed. I just haven't had time to finish working on it. And I also have an idea for self-striping sock club next year that's going to be a little bit different. But but I'm still working out how much I can, like, how much time I can put into it, because self-striping yarn is very time heavy. What word do I want? It takes a lot of time to dye self-striping yarn and wind it back up and everything, and I just want to make sure that I can actually deliver what I want to do, and that people, if I offer only 10 slots, I would probably be letting people down just based on what I have done over the last year with this stock club, and I don't want to let anybody down or make people feel like they can't join in. So I just really need to evaluate what's going on with that. And in terms of life around here, it's just been hectic. I'm happy now that Advents are out of the house. I'm not gonna lie, life with a 4-month-old puppy is a little chaotic. He is a very good boy. He is a good boy, but he's also a 4-month-old puppy. Yeah, he's very sweet, but he also has put a lot of dents in my hands, and yeah, he's 4 months old. If you've had a puppy, if you've ever heard of puppies, you know what I'm going through. Anyway, it's almost time for me to go and get my kids from school, and I am literally just nattering on about nothing. I didn't bring a lot to chat about today, and I hope that it hasn't felt really boring for you guys. I just wanted to come on and have a quick chat about what has been going on, and hopefully I will be back next week with a little bit more of actual knitting done. We shall see. I have been working on one other thing, but it's going to be a kit in my shop with a little pattern, and I haven't talked about it anywhere yet, and I'm still not 100%, and it's still not blocked. It's I'm going to save it for next time, because I'm not quite there yet, and I need it to be perfect first. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you so much, as always, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter. And Frank too. Frank, say bye. Say bye. No.